OK Corral. Anyway.
OK Corral.
Hello, everybody. We're here with another last episode of Trigun Stampede. The ultimatum, as it were, of the season.
Yep.
Because
the ultimate episode. We are here.
The ultimate episode.
Episode 12, High Noon at July.
Is it the ultimate episode, though?
I'm not going to lie. It's a pretty good episode.
It's got all the shit happening in this one, man.
It's to preface this is my favorite episode since episode 3.
Yeah, favorite episode since episode 3.
Yep,
that's a big thing. I think. I don't know.
Episode 3 was incredible.
Yeah, there's a lot of deaths and dying in that one as well, wasn't there?
It's sort of I guess it's the same thing where it's where you get more of that sibling rivalry, like to the extreme. It's the first time we're really that's the first time we see the two really head to head, and now we're gonna get to the next time they're really head to head. As we mentioned in the end of the last episode, Vash has now become a two-way gateway through to the higher dimension, where Knives has gone through the gate, as it were, to get to the core, to kind of give birth to a new generation of independence by feeding them souls from the higher plane, so that all of the plants can become independents like them.
Yeah,
creating a new generation of people.
Did you see that they're all pretty much pregnant? They all got like their inflated bellies.
They do. They definitely do.
Like some weird anime fetish thing.
You could have left it as like some weird anime.
Some weird anime. I could have, but I didn't. I took it there.
Yeah.
I took it there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where it's at. And obviously Meryl's not quite happy about that.
No. She is seeing that she's yelling at Vash I think she takes shots. She uses the Derringer to, even though she knows the glass is bulletproof, she's been told. But as we know, Meryl's not great at listening. She shoots twice, emptying the gun into the glass of the vat.
The good doctor does make comment of like, "You're a stubborn one, aren't you?"
Yeah, and by stubborn, read dumb. You don't listen ever. Like, you just live in your own little world, and that's why people get hurt, and that's why you do things that you've been told not to do.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So yeah, she's shooting that and then hammering at the glass with the butt of the gun, shouting at Vash, and he's in the garden. See, this is the garden scene I remember with Knives, where he started humming the song that Round teaches him, but he doesn't know. Because he goes, I think there's a scene last one where he goes like, "What humans? Who are they?" type thing, as he's going to forget about his past as such, and the humans outside. Anyway, so he's in the garden, humming the tune that Round taught him, and Nice goes, "Where you learn that?" "Oh, I don't know. Somewhere in the past." And then Nice is still the space and saying, "So we got this brother type thing, blah blah blah." Vash opens his hand. He has a red petal or a red flower grow out of the palm of his hand, and then he goes, "Wait, I remember everything now." And Nice is just basically going, "Yes, I told you I would protect you," and he says, "You never said that to me."
Yeah,
That
you're
was...
not. Yeah, you're not the one who told me that.
Yeah, and then Nice gets offensive. He's like, "What do you mean?" And like destroys the garden dream that he's in, and grows tentacles again. And
yeah, Vash starts running and is aging as he goes through the running.
yeah,
We should mention that on the outside world, the entire military involved in the city is emptying everything they have into this giant tentacle monster that is now on top of a building.
yeah, it's basically Roots, to be honest. But yeah,
Yeah,
and so they have this big fight, and the Doctor sees, it's like, "Oh, it's too late. You can't stop this now from happening." And then he sees that the synchronization seems to flatline, and he started to lose it. Nice gets yanked out of the ether that he was in the higher universe and flown right out into the out the other side of the tower, and he's actually in the sky above July with a wing.
it's so good.
One wing.
Yes.
One wing.
Oh my god. The imagery in this episode is top notch.
Yeah. I don't know. I
love that. I love the imagery of this. It's so good.
Yeah.
And it's at this point where it seems like Meryl's cries have actually gotten through to Vash. And he starts to, now that connection is breaking, he starts to regain some form of consciousness, and everything is starting to come into to focus a bit more for him back to reality, and the tentacles begin to recede.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pulling the all the energy back in, and the professor's like, "Oh, power receding, he's bringing it all back in. I didn't think that's possible." Boom, boom, boom. And then he kind of breaks free. Meryl's climbed up one of the roots in the thing, and gets to Vash, because they must get through the glass at some point. I'm not entirely sure how.
So Vash gets out. She gets out, and she ends up. He gets out first, and follows Knives out into the top of the building that they're in.
Yeah,
and
no.
I think she follows them up.
Yeah, but like,
because they're beginning to have it out.
There's a scene when he's just kind of regaining consciousness, where she's climbed up this branch and got to him. Because I don't know, I'm not entirely sure the glass never shattered, or she's got inside of that type thing. Anyway, and then he kind of just like sees it all back in and forms it into a cube.
Yes.
And then floats to the ground with Meryl in his arms. And then I believe Nice comes back in. They have a fight. They're like condensed this cube, and they're having a big fight through the tower and going through walls and shit.
He wants the cube bad.
Oh, nice.
Because it's like, I can't send you back, Knives. Like, the gate's closed, and he's like, I'll fucking pry the gates open with my bare hands if I have to. Give me that damn cube.
Yeah, that's something he does say later, I think, when they're actually fighting.
He's generally very eager to get that cube.
And
it does point out in the computer, it shows that, because there was like a configuration before where it was like showing you the core feeding out into the plants and feeding out to the independents, but now it's like everything is merged into one in the middle, where it's like the cube and then the independents, and it's just a direct path now, or something like that.
Yeah, So Vash is kind of create this cube, and it's very delicate. The doctor says, "Oh, he condensed all the energy into this cube, and it's not holding. Oh dear,
How long? It won't last for long.
won't last for long." And it's like cracks instantaneously appear on it when he says that. And then Knives comes in and starts beating them up for the cube. Goes through a couple of walls, gets into a room, which I think is the doctor's study, and someone gets thrown through the window, either Vash or Knives.
Oh no, Vash jumps through the window.
Oh,
He takes the cube and bails out through the window, and Knives follows him. And I think that's when they end up sort of toe to toe on the roof of this section or something like that. And then Merrill is following them up.
Because,
And he's like, because, why not run headlong into danger all the time? And Vash is like, what are you doing? Run! And Knives just fucking cuts the entire building in half in one stroke.
Yeah.
And she gets thrown to the side.
Yeah. And then she's kind of fallen down, and then dum, Wolf has appeared back.
He's back.
And he saves Merrill and says, going fighting Knives is a bit of a foolish game here. And then he looks at Vash fighting Knives and goes, yeah, that's kind of foolish too. And then just legs it with Merrill.
He's like, yep, time to leave.
Time to go. And they have a big fight.
Well, I think that says something as well, because Wolfwood's no slouch.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously can look after himself, but he's recognizing that he is way out of his league.
Yeah. He knows when to quit.
Yeah, quite rightly.
So he's left them to fight, and Vash is like emptying bullets left, right, and center into Knives.
It's so good. This whole action sequence is just gorgeous. The choreography is incredible. And again, we'll come back to the voice acting where they're just yelling back and forwards to each other, just in just consistent frustration and anger. And he's there's a scene where he's fired all of his 6 shots, and he flicks the gun down and then goes da 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 da, quick fires, puts them back in with his thumb, and then the next time has a mag that he throws out and just slams it in midair and then fires more. Mm-hmm. And he's just he has this one dark wing that is made of the kind of tendrils and roots from the vat. Oh, and he's kind of flying around, and it's just so good.
And he's feeling black. He doesn't have his red coat anymore. It's a black coat.
Yes, that's right. He's now more color, but yes, you're right. It's not his clothes are dark.
Yeah. Nice clothes is all white.
Yes. It's so good.
Anyway.
There's a bit here, and I can't remember exactly or precisely where it occurs, but it's the point where he's trying to appeal to him. He's like, you need to stop. And of course he never calls him Knives. He always calls him Nye. He always calls him the name they had as kids. And he says something like, you should know by now, brother, Nye has been he's been dead a long time, and you killed him.
Oh no, that's right at the end, man.
Is that right? That must be. But
that's right at the end, man.
It's before the cube bit.
No, it's literally getting burned up. Anyway, let's.
No, yeah, I don't know. Is it
literally at that point, man? It is 100% at that point. Anyway, it is so at that point. It's unimaginably so. That's at that point. Anyway, right. So they're having a fight, and I think Vash gets to the wing and kind of flies, falls off the top of the building and then flies away with his one wing, lands into a garrison of military, and they basically go, "It's him!" and like fire all the weapons at him, all the weapons. It's like it's
Yeah.
not just bullets; it's like cannons from tanks and shit at him.
Oh yeah.
And he's
This
like,
is another humanity bit as well.
yeah, and he's basically
Like,
saying, guys, get away, run, go away, go away. It's not safe. Run away, please.
why aren't you running? He's going to kill you.
Yeah, he's going to kill you.
And just as he says that, all of a sudden, the big tank thing that's there there's a big line just cuts right through it, and all of a sudden, everyone that was in front of it is just a blood fountain.
Legs with blood running, yeah.
Oh my god!
And then he's like, haha,
It's,
give us the cube.
it's so good.
Give us that cube,
It's
Vash.
so good. It's so good.
And then it's about this point where he must have run out of ability or something, or he goes, right, that's it.
Yeah.
And grabs the cube and sticks it into the barrel of his gun.
Yeah, because he doesn't care what happens to him. I don't care what happens to me. I'll do what I have to do.
Yeah, because it's like, it doesn't matter how long it is, but I'll do what I have to do so they can forgive me for what I've done, type thing. I believe is basically what he's saying. Where, because Knives is going, it's too late, you've already sinned, brother. Join me.
Yeah,
join me in the light side.
They'll never. He says they'll never accept you.
Yeah,
he's like he says I don't care. It's like because they will always hunt you. They will always come for you. And he's like, well, I'll run and I'll keep running, and I'll run for another lifetime if that's what it takes.
Yeah,
and then once that's done, I'll stand by their side again.
Yeah,
and Knives is so infuriated by that.
Yeah, he is. There's a scene. Is it in here where he starts? Is that maybe he's still in the dream world where he starts running and he gets shot in the butt? Like
that's the bit here where he says he's like, I'll keep running, and he's like just kind of going woohoo,
yeah, woohoo,
and like just
running along and getting shot in the butt. Anyway,
that's the visualization with that part where he's like, I'll just run for another lifetime if that's what it takes.
Yeah, and then he jams the cube in the gun. His arm turns into the big cannon that I kind of know we know from the original series how he gets his cannon arm. And he's trying to aim it, fly into space, and Meryl goes, I knew he was going to fly into space, put it out into space type thing. And Wilfred is like, he's going to burn up, he's going to destroy himself trying to do this thing.
It's just this whole segment of just this struggle, because what Vash is doing is the energy's building up, it's going to come out, and he's got this arm cannon that is just basically he's trying to fire it away from humanity, and Knives is like, no, give me the cube. He's like, if you do that, everyone's going to die, and he's like, I don't care, give me the damn cube.
Yeah,
and just there's a bit where I think that like the viewpoint is beneath them, and they're just grappled together, and they form a perfect half black, half white angel in the sky.
Yeah.
It's such an awesome visual.
Yeah, and there's I think maybe this is a scene where he basically talks about he's going to get tells the doctor to get things ready, release all the plants. I'm going to do it. But he says, no, there's no connection. I'm going to make that connection. I'm going to pry that door open. It was the last thing I do.
He's so mad.
Yeah.
Like this is just incredible. And like again, I'll say it again, the voice acting between Knives and Vash is just incredible. It's so believable and so full of kind of raw emotion, and like the whole scene is just great. And as you say, like they're kind of fighting over this, and eventually Vash kind of gets the upper hand
and flies
and just
flies out into space.
Flies right up.
And Nice grapples it, goes down, and he manages to eventually gets it to fire into space. And Nice is like, "No, give me that!" and kind of like uses his knife's tentacle things to kind of like deflect the blast, and Vash is going, "No, you'll destroy yourself." And then this is where he comes out with the line of, "Oh, Vash, you simpleton. You killed me years and years ago already."
So here's the question, though, right? Because he's like, "You should know, Nye has been gone. Nye has been gone a long time, and you killed him."
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think he's referring to? Because I that seems to me that he has a very specific point in mind. It's not a flippant comment.
No,
it's a turning point.
It could easily be on the ship at some point, or it could be the point after he crashes his ships and Vash chooses to run away from him.
I think that's a fair shout. I think he's referring to the moment where he realizes that the only way to get Vash to realize anything is to bring the ships down. He's like he realizes that he has to be. That's how it has to be. I have to be this person, and I think that's the point where it's like, no, that you killed him because you made me make that decision. I had to make that decision because you forced me to do it. Yeah, and that's when he died. Like, that was the moment where Nye is no longer, like, Knives was born the moment that decision was made, because that's the attitude at that point. Like, there was always, like, maybe even a sliver of, like, normality to him, even if his reluctance to join in and his reluctance to be a part of a family, but he was still there. He still took part. But yeah, I feel like at that point it was just like, no, you've made me make this decision, and it has killed me. I'm different now.
Yeah, could easily be that. Was there's a start of an episode where it started off of one of these episodes started off with where it explains that they've been on a journey for 200 years on the spaceships, and
I think that's the start of this episode. There's like a small segment before it continues back to the building where they're talking about the journey that they're on.
Yeah, and it's like, and then they make the comment about, oh, it's just like being in the Wild West.
Yep.
But
yeah, this whole bit is great.
Yeah, so he's basically flying into Vash, trying to get to the thing, while basically getting burnt up by the big energy beam, and he's glowing the eyes.
Conversation. Yeah. The conversation is just Vash yelling at him. He's like, please. He's begging him, stop. He's like, you'll die.
Yeah.
And it's like, part of him knows that he has to stop him. And I think it's like that kind of dichotomy again, like we talked about, where he's like, yeah, the people he's promised to save and never did. And that was through not being able to make the hard decision to stop the suffering, or to make the hard decision to take the lesser of two evils as a path in order to save more. And it's just like, he's really broken up about the fact that he's now being made to make a choice by his brother, in the same way that, well, Knives feels like he was made to make a choice, even though he made the choice himself. You know what I mean? Like, it's, yeah. I think there's sort of a mirror going on there, where it's like each of them is pinning their reality on each other. It's like, you're making me do this. And I think, but for the first time, like, Vash is realizing, it's like, well, it's not him that's making me do this. I just don't want him to do it.
Yeah.
But I need to do this, so I'm not going to stop. But of course, Knives thinks he needs to do this, so he's not going to stop.
Yeah, it's well, I mean the color coordination is essentially based on yin and yang.
Yeah,
but
it's yeah, you're right. Like there's a really the visual language in this episode around sort of their position amongst the people, their power, their relationship to each other is I don't want to say it's in your face. It is a little bit, but I think it's really tastefully done.
Yeah. Why do you think Vash is black and not the white one? Since he's maybe the greater good. Is it because he's like you said, it's maybe the view of the people where he's the evil one?
I'm not. I think,
or is it self-imposed on him, where he thinks he tries to be good but is unable to be, and always does the thing that causes the worst damage?
I think you're like, I think there's an element of both to that for sure, because like it does feel like that, because Knives is the white, so the evident good, the angelic side, and that's almost like a self-reflection, because realistically he is doing what he feels needs done at any cost. He sees himself as angelic, and that is like, I'm a savior to people. This is the work I do is important. And I
wouldn't say a savior to people. He doesn't ever believe he's a savior to people. He refers to Meryl as a parasite.
A savior to his people.
Yeah, his people. Or
is he? Vash, I think it is an internal reflection.
Yeah.
Where it's Knives sees himself as the good here, and Vash, it's a reflection of the decisions he's having to make. It's that in order to do the good, I have to do
the necessary.
I have to do the thing I don't want. Yeah, like I don't want the thing Wolfwood has told him. It's like, sometimes to be kind, you have to be cruel.
Yeah.
And
so
yeah, I think there's an element of that in here.
Can we go back to the start of the episode, where Meryl is freeing Vash from the thing, and I told him he float down. What I've just remembered is that Knight does fly back in at that point and goes, "Get away from me, you parasite!" and goes for him, and then Vash prevents him from doing it somehow. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Can't remember what he does. Put a branch in the way?
Yeah, I think he does actually, you're right. It's, yeah. Because that's the moment we realise that he's back.
Yeah.
Like,
back for good, baby. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, just everything about this. And yeah, like you say, like he's just the kind of swell of music and the visuals and the colours and the sort of emotional resonance of the scene, and just this visualization of him like literally tearing his being apart to try and... But the bit that gets me here, and the bit that made me ever so slightly tearful, is even at the end of it, it's like everything about it, because you're always like, it's like, oh, it's all about Knives, it's all about him, it's about power, it's about placement, it's about being better than everyone else. And his sort of last gasp, as he's like literally being the flesh being torn away from his burned away from his bones, is him saying, is that, please, I'm doing this for you, brother. And it's like, it's that desire, is like, I just want us to live in a utopia, and it's like, even to that point where he's been fighting him non-stop, his only desire is to have his brother be by his side.
Yeah, still, yeah, and I think that's maybe what he's just, why he didn't like Remy saws that Vash kind of, got jealous of the
she was in the way, yeah. Like she was, you're like, they were like you say, they're yin and yang. They're the two parts of the same soul. They're an inextricable pair that almost feel like they can't exist without each other.
Yeah.
And Vash doesn't want that, not because he doesn't care for his brother, but because he doesn't care for how his brother wants that to be. And yet, no matter what Vash does, no matter how hard he pushes away, no matter how much he denounces what's being done, to the very last breath, all Knives wants is his brother by his side.
Yeah. Anyway, now Vash is in a free fall, blasting himself back to the July. And the last thing you kind of see of that scene is him going, I don't think it does it do a big explosion.
I think it cuts out.
I think they cut that out.
We find out there's been an explosion because it sort of fades out and fades some time later, and there's sort of a as you said before, like the kind of podcast or radio in previous episodes, and in this one it's talking about is it like it's been a couple of years since
5 years, I think.
However many years it's been since Vash the Stampede.
Yeah.
He
destroyed.
He destroyed. Is it 90% of the population? It's like it's not insignificant.
Yeah, he's certainly he destroyed July, and all July is gone. So the largest city was destroyed by Vash the Stampede.
And of course he's now a fugitive again, and there's a reward on his head, which is now $60 billion double dollars.
The $60 billion double dollars that you get from the original.
Yep.
So he's still the fugitive for that. And it cuts to Meryl laying some tributes to Roberto, I think. And maybe Vash.
Yep. I think it's paying our respects to Roberto, and then Zazie is there.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you know that people are coming, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the twins have opened a gateway.
Yeah.
And people are coming from Earth. Or I don't know if she says that, but like this.
I think she does say Earth very specifically, because I think it's that thing again where like obviously everyone here is from Earth, or well, the people who originally crashed on the planet were from Earth. So
yeah, and then Meryl goes on her way. It's like, oh, all right, okay, cool, and she's getting chewed out by her boss saying, "Yeah, you want to work in the insurance part of our business." Blah blah blah.
Because that's where you'll be.
That'll you be. Get back here to headquarters and team up with this newbie that we got. What's her name? Tom.
Millie Thompson.
Millie Thompson. Dum. And
she kind of she kind of laughs and goes, "Ha, newbie."
Yeah, newbie.
Stares at the big empty like the big full ashtray.
Yeah. And the gun.
Yeah.
And that's her. She's heading off to pick up Millie.
Her new partner.
Yeah. And then it cuts to a bar on it. And a person playing a piano in the bar. Blonde, long hair, and potentially I assume it's a bartender or someone saying,
I thought it was a kid.
I thought it's like,
so my take on this is that is the bar in Genora Rock, because there was blood on the doors.
I mean, it could be the bar in Genora Rock,
and I wondered if that the person who was talking to him was the young kid. Tony's.
Yeah, maybe. It could be. But
I don't know if that's true, but it felt a little bit like that.
But they don't recognise him as Vash the Stampede. He's
No.
Everett or something.
Yeah, I couldn't quite make out the name they called him, but
it's the
yeah,
name
he's
that
just stood there with.
he took that name in the original series as well when he had that brief period of downtime. And I think that bar actually refers to the first episode
Oh, really?
of the original series.
Maybe. Yeah,
It's
that's more likely, actually.
It seems like a random bar in the middle of nowhere, but the fact that it's got him as his pseudonym
Counterpart name.
counterpart name,
pseudonym.
Also doesn't really fit that, but it's all
but
about
he's
tribute.
he's just standing, hitting the keys on the piano, hair down over his face, and the person says to him, "Hey, have you remembered anything yet?" And he just doesn't respond.
Yeah. Oh, also, see when he came out as of the plant farm in during the fight, he had this had his Super Saiyan hair. Sort of, it was all spiked up.
Yeah, you're right. He did.
It was all spiked up.
Didn't even notice.
And then so they did that. It's talked about that. They don't really, it doesn't really say much. And then it cuts to the moon.
Yeah, and then it's the credit song.
Yeah,
and then an extra credit
to
sequence.
the moon. Do 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 do. No, that's the end song for Evangeline.
God.
They had someone covering Frank Sinatra's song.
I still have PTSD from finishing that series.
The original.
Yeah.
Because they got a new one out, and I think it is.
I haven't watched the new one.
I think it's got more stuff in it. I think there's more explanation. Maybe
it was great. Like I don't want to say it was bad, but my God, that show just leaves you a bit broken. I think a bit more broken than it started you.
I certainly didn't really leave you with any clear answer of what actually happened.
No, that much is definitely true.
I mean, you had like a big head eating the planet at the end, and fucking Shinji being a depressing bastard all the way through. Anyway, so it's on cutscenes flying over the moon, looking at the big red planet, and you hear a broadcast of like, oh, the gates opened, or it has energy, or something like that. Blah 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 blah. Get me a report on that. On what happened there. Give us a reading. Okay, independent Captain Sulu. And then
independent Chronica.
That's an independent Chronica. And then they say, "Oh, that's seeds. Oh, they left Earth years ago."
That's the thing is, I don't think that it's people directly from Earth. I think it's another colony.
Oh, you think it's another colony? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the interpretation.
Also, independent Chronica. I mean, that sounds like a terrible back pain. Chronic back pain or something. I don't know.
I'm chronically independent.
I'm chronically independent. I mean, isn't that what? Well, I would say that was Knives was, but he relied on the doctor a lot and his henchmen.
He did, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's seems to be leading to more plants independence and potentially people who managed to either live with humans or have overcome and rule over the humans for the weaker selves.
Yep, that's pretty much the way I'm seeing this. Is that the independents are sort of in charge. So, yeah, bring on season 2.
It's possibly that's what's going on here. Yeah, who knows? Anyway, and that's the end of the episode. That's it. The last one done. Trigun written off our list.
This was so good. This was so good.
So good.
I noticed I had like a 7.5 on IMDb.
Yeah, that's good then, eh?
That is pretty good, but I think if I look at sort of Attack on Titan and stuff like that, which is obviously like, it's up there. I think it's like a 9.2.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it feels like 7.5 is a bit harsh.
I feel that you're relying on people, lots of people, to give a rating. To even things out, because there's people that will just score it as 1 for, I don't know.
It was not original series.
It was not original series, or 1 because of the technical porn in the last episode.
Or the Vash redesign. I know there was a lot of ire from fans about the way he's been redesigned.
I don't really see a full-on issue. He's kind of like all the time now, rather than all the past.
I think it's a really good contemporary look, I think, for a character. I think they did a really good job of modernizing him in a way that didn't detract so much from the way he used to look.
So the thing with the way he used to look, with his big spiky up here, right? What did he use to gel it? On a desert planet.
We probably shouldn't talk about that.
No,
but I think the other thing is as well. He's a very.
What are you thinking?
He's a very traditional looking manga character.
I wasn't going to go anywhere with that. Yeah, he was a very traditional manga character.
Like, trench coat and very stoic, and yeah.
I still want to know why we didn't want to talk about.
Oh, have you ever seen Something About Mary?
Actually, no, I haven't watched that movie.
Well, look that up, but try not to let it ruin your search history.
I'll try not to.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. I think my search history is already destroyed.
Already gone?
Already gone.
So how do you rate this final episode then?
I think it's a good final episode. It's not the end of the series. Hopefully it's not Italian Job with the bus hanging over the cliff. And it's like, what's happening? I'm going to give it a 9.
I'm an easy 10 on this one. This is everything I wanted in it. Like
everything.
It really did. Like, it was. I've particularly the last few episodes, I've continued to talk about just the performances and everything about some of the greatest dubbing performances I've heard. More often than not are just good voice acting, and like it's really entertaining, and like I think the Steins Gate dub is great, but it's not particularly because of like the way the characters interact or anything. I think it's just that the voices tend to be very suitable for the characters, and the story is represented really well. Like, whereas like if I think back to the dub for Akira, and you've got Tetsuo and Kaneda, their back and forth is incredible.
Yeah,
it's those performances are so intertwined, and I feel the same here. Is it's like the voices are so suited to the characters in like a really positive way, but on top of that, the ability for them to give so much, I really do feel like felt the whole yin and yang thing, even for the performances. It's like they just complement each other so well. I just loved it, and the action sequences and the choreography in the last episode is just second to none. Like, it was really impressive. And I know we talked a lot about the start, like how we weren't overly thrilled about sort of a less traditionally drawn show, but that became less and less of a thing to me as the show went on, because I felt like the art direction and like you say, the choreography and the way they obviously had storyboarded scenes and things like that was just done with a lot of intent and a lot of thought.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really good, and like I said, I think in a previous episode as well, I feel like this has taken what Trigun did, which I really enjoyed, and has kind of improved on every part of that. It's given purpose, it's given style, it's given flair, it's given a slightly better balance of comedy and tragedy, and it's definitely given the characters more gravitas than they did before.
Okay.
So it's probably one of the best last episodes I've watched in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it could be leading up to, because I'm pretty sure these 12 episodes are kind of before the original series.
Oh, totally. This is literally, like, it turns out, probably a prequel to the original show.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure in the little series, original series, it already kind of had July getting blown up by Vash the Stampede.
Which is why he was wanted. Which is, of course,
Yeah.
now why he's wanted.
Yeah, this is what's happened because but it was like a weird gimmick where he was like, Nice gave him a gun, and that gun had like the ability to transform his arm into a big plant cannon, which
Yep.
wasn't really, it's just kind of a thing that happened. I can just do this now, and now
We understand why.
we understand a bit better in this one because obviously they put a bit more effort into it.
And it's not that sort of and that's how Black Widow got that coat in the Marvel movies. Did you ever want to know that? Because this is how that happened. It's like, no, it's like before there was a problem in not knowing.
Yeah.
Like it was missing information.
Yeah, it happened.
It happened, and I'm like, that's cool, but what and why? And now being able to look at it through that lens, I think it's. I love the fact that they've been able to do it in a way that it's reimagined who Knives was as a character.
Yeah, it's
in a way that I think makes him absolutely critical to everything.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that Knives is still alive.
I also believe this.
Yeah.
Because we don't see him die, we just see him melt away.
Yeah, and I assume he's just regrown, because in the original series it was essentially stated that they had, I think Vash does kill him in July, or not kill him, but like severely injure him in July, and he's in a tube regrowing himself.
Regrowing, yeah.
And I think essentially that's possibly what's happening here, because he's also been half vaporized. But the interesting thing is the new concept of the new plant person looking into the planet. So
independent Chronica.
Yeah, Chronica. Chronica. Chronic. Chronic.
I just feel like independent Chronic.
Isn't that that's some drug / Sonic character?
It's basically the Chronic.
Yeah, I'm sure that
it's also a Dr. Dre album.
I'm sure Chronic was a Sonic the Hedgehog character.
I think you might be right. But yeah, I love this series.
Mm-hmm.
It was brilliant. I've got my Google search alerts set up for the Blu-ray release. I've got them set up for the physical release of the soundtrack. I want both.
All right.
Yeah, just a real. And actually, one of the things I really hope that this does is I would love for them to do a re-release of the original manga because I've never read it.
Yeah.
And if they could do like a similar to like the Orochi or Hellsing or Berserker or Parasite, like the hardback editions of that, I think that would be amazing. I'd love to read those.
Yeah. It's like I say, it was I saw a guy and he made up random statistic. He was like 0.969% of people who watched the series have read the manga. And he was like,
And that's mad.
that's a lie. It was a made up statistic.
But also, I totally believe it.
Not many people.
Because
Once it came out,
it's not widely available.
no, it's not. I'm sure it came out along in the 90s at least.
I was going to suggest it might even be the 80s. But I think let's find out. When was it? No, 95.
Yeah.
And then there was another series that ran. So it ran from 95 to 97, which is probably where the first anime comes in. Yeah, 1998. So.
Yep.
And then there is a Trigun Maximum that was 97 to 2007, apparently.
Okay.
The original chapters were put together in 3 Tankoban volumes, like the books. I would love to see those get a re-release at some point. And yeah, I'd love to read Trigun Maximum as well, like where that comes into it. It's 14 volumes apparently.
Trigun Maximum. Maximum effort.
So yeah, like, oh, that's interesting. It was published by Dark Horse.
Mm-hmm.
That's who published the Gantz books.
Dark Horse does a lot of manga, I believe.
Oh, you there? Yeah. You can buy individual editions.
There you go, man.
Are they books though?
Yeah. Maybe books. Oh.
No, I think it's digital.
Digital books. Oh well then.
I'll wait and see what happens because my hope would be, I think this has hopefully had like enough critical success for them to like. I certainly know for a fact that I stayed subscribed to Crunchyroll to watch this.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
like,
it's just this.
Well, I guess like I've watched a couple of other things, but like this was the thing that was like I was really driving forward with.
Oh.
And I would hope that hopefully they'll get a second season, like you say, and we can continue the story and see it sort of like in the same time frame as the original show. And then, you know, who knows, maybe there'll be a re-release of the manga in the near future.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'd be good to see what happens and how they're going to ruin it. They could he get in better?
Yeah, I mean, what's this? Trigun second edition announcement soon? ? And Dark Horse just put a set of eyes as an emoji for a response to that person's question.
Oh, okay.
It's like, can you do that? Please do that.
Nope.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to see that if they would do that. I'm super glad we did this show. However, that being said, It's now done. We've got a couple of things we're gonna hopefully do as bonus episodes over the next few weeks. Do we want to talk about them?
Sure. Let's talk about them. What we're doing.
Okay, so you and I went to see Suzume.
We did.
And
saw that in cinema.
I think we'd like to record an episode on that. Spoiler alert, that film is good. Like, without getting too much into it, if you do get an opportunity to go and see this, I would absolutely recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've also talked for a long while about doing the
Memories.
anime the anime anthology movie Memories.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be doing some individual episodes on each of the different parts there.
Yeah.
Before we start our new season 10.
Yeah, that's done by the same creator who did Akira.
It's Akira, right? Yeah.
It's the same guy. I think that's how Ikai did that before Akira, I think he did short stories, manga short story things like that before he went and made Akira. Like,
yeah, that's cool.
I don't think he was. Yeah, I know it's been around for a while, or was around for a while. But yeah, Memories. It's good.
So I've never watched it, but we'll get to talk about that, and then, like I say, we'll be back then with our season 10. Do you want to say what our season 10 is going to be?
Season 10, just like Vash, Stampede and Knives, it's all about angels fighting on the dance mat. That's not fighting on the dance mat, but it's all about angels fighting. Angelic Lair by Clamp, I believe, did it. The same people that did Card Captor Secura.
Nice.
I believe it was the people that ended up creating it. Yeah, I've always kind of liked it.
I've never seen it. I like
the intensity. They did change the ending compared to the manga, though. Apparently.
Okay. Well,
which is fine.
We'll see.
It's a fucking.
I know that
stupid premise.
The last couple of seasons we did Trigun and Chainsaw Man, which were both new things. And before that, what did we finish up before that? Was that Steins Gate?
I think that was Steins Gate, yeah.
Is that really only 2 seasons ago?
Yeah. We did that for like better part of last year, man.
I'm sure that was like 9 or 10 months we did that for.
We did. We started it like in March and finished it in like November or something.
Oh my god. That's such a long time.
Yeah, well, we did both the seasons that came out.
And the movie.
Oh, and the movies. And OAVs.
And the OVAs, yeah.
OVAs.
Yeah, we did a lot.
Yeah. But now that time has passed and we're going to
and
rush through
we'll
Angelic Lair.
Go back to the past.
Yeah.
Do something a little bit older, a little bit more classic. And yeah. What we'll try to do as well, as we've kind of talked this through, is that we don't want it to last forever and ever and ever as a season, so we'll probably try and do more than one episode in an episode of the podcast, just to try and keep things going.
Come back.
Hopefully that'll do all right.
Going back to the old format.
Yeah, I think it's okay to do it when it's a newer series and there's a lot to talk about in some instances. So
new series are generally a lot shorter in sense of effort wise.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So it's easier to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll it's happened. You've reached not only the end of another episode, but the end of another season of Who's That Anime?
Yep.
We'll be back next week. Haven't decided which one we'll release first, but we'll definitely be back with either one of our bonus episodes for Suzume or Memories, and after that we'll be back with season 10. But Who's That Anime is an anime podcast and can be found where all good podcast apps can find podcasts. Our home is at anchor.fm/Who's That Anime. If you like what it is we do, it would be super cool of you to leave a review or maybe tell a friend what it is that we do here. We have fun talking about anime and such. We have a Facebook page, that's facebook.com/Who's That Anime, where we post the latest episodes of the occasional anime meme. We have a Discord server where the link is in the show notes. We have a YouTube channel where Collins painstakingly puts together the video versions of these episodes. And those are all up to date, or will be up to date, hopefully, when we release this episode. So they should be releasing the same day. You can find those by going to youtube.com and searching for @Who's That Anime. We also occasionally like to play games. Colin at twitch.tv/couchfuel and myself at twitch.tv/hailpayman. You can find the archives of all the live streams and fun stuff we've done there on YouTube if you search at youtube.com for couchfuel or hailpayman. And that's us.
Yeah, that is it. That's us done for another week. We'll be back. Same anime time, same anime place. Not different anime though. Yeah.
Different anime.
A different anime. Who would have thunk?
Holy shit.
Who would have thunk that?
Who would have thunk?
I mean, we didn't just talk about it for 5 minutes like prior.
Certainly we did.
Oh wait. Oh, we did.
We did. We thunk it.
Oh, we thunk it.
We thunk it.
We thunk it. So anyway, that's us. We'll see you next week.
Peace out, folks.
Peace.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.